Hey y'all, welcome back to Score Tarot. I wanted to come today and speak with you all and tell you about an experience I had the other day or recently. The other day, I watched a lecture by Dr. Francis Crest Welsing, and I was so inspired and motivated, which I had known of Dr. Welsing for many years. I followed her teachings and her writings for a long time, probably the last 10 years or so. But she actually was a child psychologist, and she's the one who wrote the, what is it, the Crestling theory, I believe it is, and also the ISIS papers, like back in the 80s, I want to say 80s or maybe 90s. I don't know what year it was, but it was probably about over 30 years ago, maybe close to 40. I don't know. The lecture, like I said though, the lecture that I watched of hers was so motivating because she is one of the people that predicted a lot of what we are seeing now with men, melanated men, men of color being somewhat like targeted in regards to homosexuality and things like that. Now, no one is bullying or trying to pressure anyone to be something that they're not. But she was one of the first people to identify and speak on there being, like I said, and she did this back in the 80s and 90s, and that wasn't, homosexuality wasn't that as popular back then as it is now. But what so that's what she's known for. She's known for the ISIS papers. She's known for speaking on or predicting what will a lot of what we're living in today and seeing today. But one of the things that she said that really hit home, that really resonated with what I see now, and I think it's so necessary right now, is she spoke about self love and self respect and being of sound mind. And those things would pretty much take care of a lot of the other things, whether it's how you see yourself, because that's really where I want to go today. With seeing people walking around in pajama pants, seeing people who, and I'm not judging at all, I'm just identifying and speaking on what we see on an everyday basis. You can go to any store today and you will see people walking around in pajama pants. You will see people that have hair bonnets on their hair. You will see people who are just unkept, who look unkept, and like they just don't care. Like they just have no sense of style, enthusiasm about life. I grew up like me. I grew up in the 90s. I graduated in the 90s, graduated high school in the 90s. And it was a thing for us. Like, we took pride in how we look. Like, that was important. You wanted to have on something that was fly, fresh. Like me today, I would never walk around in pajama pants out in public. Absolutely not. Not one time while raising my children, did I ever take them to school with wearing pajama pants or pajamas or a bonnet on my head. And because I grew up learning and it being instilled in me to have self respect. I grew up having it instilled in me that you represent not just yourself when you go out, but you represent your family. And in addition, when I heard Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, the lecture that she did back in 2010 in New York, that's the lecture that I saw of hers that I was referencing earlier. And with her speaking on all of the societal issues that she anticipated us seeing, a lot of those societal issues would be totally extinct if people got back to self love. So that's why I wanted to talk about it today, because for some reason, a lot of our society, the people in our society, have lost that. So, can we get self love back? Because if we get self love back, then people are going to take pride in how they look. People are going to take pride in where they live and how they take care of their homes. People are going to take pride in raising their children to be respectful and to be principled and to have principles. So I want to encourage, especially those of you who are young parents, to go in the archives on YouTube and watch some of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, some of her lectures, because the information that I saw was extremely helpful for those parents who want to instill and teach their children how to be strong, how to stand up for, righteousness, how to not fold. And one of the things that also came to mind while I was watching that lecture was, and I'm going to end on this particular note. And especially in today's time, we always hear people talking about, be humble, be humble. Anyone who knows me will tell you I have always railed against that. I am not humble. I've never been humble. Don't ask me to be humble. I don't believe that anyone has ever asked or told Donald Trump to be humble. I don't believe that anyone has ever told George Bush to be humble. I don't believe that anyone has ever told Netanyahu to be humble. So don't tell me to be humble. And from a really young age, I've always been able to identify and spot that people tell you to be humble when they're trying to take away from you, when they're trying to put you in your place, or the place that they think that you should be in. Now, I am respectful, I am polite, and I can be nice. But one thing I've always said is I know my worth and I'm not humble. And I think that is something that a lot of people need to, especially explain to your children and explain to young people, that we're stepping away from being humble. When people want you to be humble, they don't want you to know your worth. They want to, like I said, take away from you. So I want to put up a total a campaign where people are just saying stop being humble. No, we want to be polite, yes, we want to be kind, yes, possibly, and we want to be fair and balanced, but I'm not being humble. And I would suggest that, those of you parents who are of sound mind and body, not teach your kids to be humble. We want to be principled and all that, but humble, no. I've never thought that that was a good thing to be. Like I said, every time I hear people talk about being humble, and they only tell certain people to be humble. So no, I'm not interested in being humble. But that's what I wanted to say. Let's get back to the self love. Let's get back to the self respect. Because once we get back to those things, I think it'll take care of a lot of the other things that we are seeing in our society that we don't like. Like I said, people doing drugs, not caring for themselves, walking around in pajamas. Just seems like they're walking around like zombies, not having a sense of purpose and a sense of wanting to live, the best, or be the best version of themselves that they can be. So you guys check out that particular lecture, like I said, from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. All right, y'all. That's all I wanted to say. You guys enjoy the remainder of your week and take care, guys. Namaste.